decision. Because it's easier to live inside the parameters of, well, as a black woman, well, as born and raised in South Central, well, I'm dyslexic. I wrote 7 books, I'm dyslexic. You know, I just tell good stories. I'm just not the one to edit the book, because then we all in trouble. So just knowing, like, I'm not perfect. What I do really well is I manage my imperfection well. And so we're all waiting for perfect. It's an illusion that will never come to you, and it's an excuse to never show up and play. Your story is not meant to be your fortress. Your story is meant to be your fuel. Like, I'm not gonna run fast, but I ain't gonna stop running. I might slow down and have to breathe and catch my breath, but I'm not stopping, because I believe all things are available to all of us. And good people should do well, because when good people do well, good people just do more good in the world. Right. And I declared, I want a peaceful life like that. I want a life of possibility. And almost every single one of my initial mentors, I couldn't touch, I couldn't talk to, I didn't have access to, but I held on to them like they were oxygen, because they were my visit to Beverly Hills. So I would go in my head, I would go through television, and I didn't want to be rich. I never really aspired to be rich, and I never aspired to be famous. I aspired to have peace of mind, to have grace and ease in my life, to be able to provide for myself. So I already had this experience that I wanted. And so when fast forward to answer your question, I'm in Inglewood, living off Arborvitae. I'm on government assistance, and I run out of money, and I had to buy Pampers for Jelani. And I had $11.42 in the bank. And I remember wrapping my son in a towel for 2 days. I remember the second day, like you said, I had my hand on Jelani's stomach, and I said, "Don't worry, baby. Mommy will never be this broke or broken again." And that day, what shifted for me, I was willing to completely die to any form of me that I had been, so that I can birth the woman that I was becoming. The reason why a lot of people won't become who they want is because they're too attached to who they've been. And you hear it all the time when people say, "I've always been this way." Okay, well, if that's working for you, keep doing that. I knew it wasn't working for me any longer. I had hit my version of rock bottom. So I was willing to let go of everything and everybody. See, another reason why people won't get there is because the doorway is for you to fit through. You're trying to carry everybody else through, because you're trying to be Rescue 911. And you got to rescue you first. I am much more valuable to my family and to my community because I was willing to let them go through the door myself, teach myself, learn myself, condition myself, and then come back and get them. I don't know what I had to be willing to allow my conviction to make me inconvenienced. See, we want to grow, but we want to stay liked by everybody. I was willing to be my own rescue at the risk of your approval. But most of us aren't like that. Facebook is an example. We want to be liked. Well, I woke up and I like myself today, so your like is extra. My job is to like me first. I was willing to say every day, "Lisa, you like you? Lisa, are you proud of you? Lisa, are you playing full out?" Every day before I checked in with anybody else. So what did I do? I was willing to find people who had what I didn't have, who were living lives that I wasn't living, who believed things that I didn't know about, and I was willing to become their student. So that's what I did, number one. And number two, I looked at every toxic behavior in my life. Everyone. The world is looking at you and following your example of how to treat you. How to treat you. They're following your example of how to treat you. So how you treat you, the world's gonna follow your lead. So I had to start treating Lisa better, because I was everything for everybody but nothing for myself. And so every day I got in the mirror and I completed 3 sentences. "Lisa, I'm proud of you for." Second thing, "Lisa, I forgive you for." That one took me down daily, because I'd had a son with a man who was now in prison, my biggest nightmare, my greatest nightmare. I had been in a relationship that turned mentally and then physically abusive when my son was 3 years old. I made money but lost it. I was on government assistance. I was on welfare. I was on WIC, Women, Infant, and Children. Like, I had a lot of forgiveness that I had to do. But I was willing to forgive myself every day. And every day I said the same thing for like 6 months until it got easier. And then one day I went, Lisa, I forgive you for it. And that thing didn't come up anymore. I was like, ooh, okay, on to the next. 7 different endings. And the last thing I did every day, last sentence, is Lisa, I commit to you that. So I started every day celebrating Lisa, forgiving Lisa, and making a commitment to Lisa. So I would have my son at daycare during the day. I'd work 9 hours. I'd pick him up from daycare, take him back to my office. I'd take a 30-minute break from 6 o'clock to 6:30 to go get him. I start working from 6:30 until midnight every day at my office on me. I stopped going out to dinner. I stopped going out dancing. I stopped getting my nails done, stopped getting my hair done. And every 2 weeks when LA Unified paid me, I wrote a check to my dream. And I wrote in the memo line, funding my dream. And then every check I wrote to myself, I made a challenge with myself that it had to be 5% more than the next check.
Wow.
Than the previous check. So I didn't really know how to calculate the 5%. So I'm like, well, I'll just add $30. I'll just add $60. I really didn't know anything about it. Then I just skinnied down. I moved out of my 3-bedroom house. I moved in with a roommate. She smoked even. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put towels under the base of the door. Y'all, you gotta be inconvenienced. I put towels on the base of the door so the smoke wouldn't come in the room with me and my son. We slept side by side in the same bed. Went from a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, 2-story, to a roommate, because I was willing to write a check to fund my dream. And I kept writing, funding my dream, funding my dream, funding my dream. And I walked in the Wells Fargo 3.5 years later, and I gave her my name. I said, hi, my name is Lisa Nichols. And she's like, you the funding my dream lady. I was like, yeah. So all these tellers came running around. The manager came around because I guess everybody had processed a check or two. Right. And they were like, we all been wondering, like everybody wants to know, what's the dream you funded? And I was like, I don't know, but it's gonna cost some money. Think I got a little money now to fund the dream. And so I said, I just came to get my balance and to see where it is because I haven't opened any of the statements. They were like, what? I said, no, I haven't opened any of the statements because money burns my mama's pocket, so it might burn my pocket, so I don't want to spend it. So she wrote the balance down. You know how they write the balance down, and she turned it and passed it to me, and I looked at it, and I said, no, ma'am, my name is Lisa Shante Nichols. This is my social security number. I don't even want that money because y'all gonna want it back and I don't want to get in trouble. So can you just give me my account? Because I didn't know anyone in my family that had $5,000 in their account, $10,000 in the account. So when you write down that I have $62,500 in my account, that's not mine. And so they all teared up, like everybody started crying. They're like, no, it's yours. I looked down at my son, Jelani, who was 5 years old now, and I said, Jelani, I think life is gonna change for you and mommy. Oh. My son said, Mommy, can we finally go to McDonald's now? So, because I was willing to inconvenience my entire life. My entire life. Wow. I was willing to disrupt my entire life to buy my future, to buy my possibility, to give my dream a chance. See, we're not supposed to tuck our dreams in on the pillow when we get up in the morning. We're not supposed to leave them at home and go and fulfill somebody else's dream. We're not supposed to do that. That's not what we're wired to do. That's not who we are. Your human spirit doesn't care about the economy. The human spirit doesn't care that my son's father went to prison. The human spirit doesn't care what's happened to your family. The human spirit doesn't care about the past. You may have been molested, or your family may have been broke, or you may have been betrayed, or you may have a divorce. Your human spirit doesn't care about any of that. Your human spirit simply says, what's our command for tomorrow? What do you want to create? It's not keeping score. Your brain is keeping score because your brain is designed to keep you safe. Your soul, your intuition, your human spirit is designed to make you soar.
Come on now.
When you get to the edge, your brain will always tell you to step back. It's always going to tell you to step back because you can fall. Always. It's going to tell you to step back because before you fell, the last time you did this, you saw someone else fail. You could hurt. You could be off work. It's going to tell you, it's designed to keep you safe. So you have to be willing to play between your brain and your soul. And on some days, you got to just listen to your soul. Look, you're at the edge watching someone else live, wondering what it's going to be like when you jump without ever jumping. And I'm just here to tell you, jump. Because only 3 things can happen. You're either going to jump and fly, or you're going to jump and fall on something soft, or you're going to fall down hard. Either way, you're going to get back up. You already know you got what it takes to get back up. Your greatest fear is not that you will fall. Your greatest fear is that you will live a full life and never fly, that you never leaped. You're not afraid of dying. You're afraid of dying before the world sees who you really are, before they really get your fingerprint, before they really feel your breath, before they really get your contribution, before they really feel you. That's what you don't want to happen. You don't want to leave this place without us knowing you were here. All I'm doing is giving my dream a chance. And I'm not extraordinary. You don't get off the hook. You don't get to be let off the hook. I'm an ordinary woman who chooses every day to make one more extraordinary decision.